All right, shalom, shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson, but it's gonna be concerning the vision that I had. You know what I'm saying? Within a dream, and it was heavy. It was very heavy, man. All right. So I'm gonna, tell you the truth of it, everything that I remember. Some stuff I had when I woke up, I had put it in my notepad. So let me get that real quick. But it's a heavy time that we in, and the spirit is heavy on brothers, man. But this was the heaviest vision I ever had. You know what I'm saying? I really don't have a lot of visions, but when I do, it's heavy. You know what I'm saying? With this one, it's probably one of the most vivid visions I ever had since I've been in the truth. Right, and I got beamed up. Right, and I'm gonna tell you how everything went down in the dream. And the dream was kind of all over the place. Um, but I remember IUIC um, was having an event. I don't know what event it was. Um, I remember walking into this facility. This is like a place, man, like a kind of like a ballroom, if I can kind of explain it, right? And I walked in and I remember seeing some. It was kind of hazy. I remember seeing some IUIC Jakes or whatever, and I walked into this event and I don't really remember what I saw in there. It was like something going on, but I don't remember. So I remember I was, the spirit had me leave out of the event. So I had to walk. It's almost like walking into, like I say, like I kind of see it like a ballroom. You know how you come in those doors, and so as I'm walking out, I can feel the presence of somebody following me. I can tell I wouldn't want it there. You know what I'm saying? And I remember seeing some IUIC Jakes posted up, like almost like a guard is posted up at a palace to give you like a visual. And to kind of break the tension, right? I just had to, use a little wisdom. I was like, shalom, shalom, real quick. And they, one brother threw his head up, and another Jake, IUIC Jake, said shalom. And you know how most of them brothers at IUIC is off their rockers, man, right? But okay, so I was led out of that IUIC event, and I remember seeing a young Jake. He was like agitated, you know what I'm saying? Like he had just got into it with some of the IUIC members, right? And you know how them IUIC um, Jakes is, man. Some of them is, all right. And that's the spirit was showing me to, IUIC. A lot of them brothers not gonna make it. Some brothers gonna come out of that, some of them not gonna make it. It's just what it is, right? So it was this younger Jake. He had some pliers in his hand, right? And he had a hammer, right? And like I say, it just, the dream kind of was all over the place until it got to this particular part right here. I remember this vividly, you know what I'm saying? And I grabbed the pliers out of his hand. I was like, chill out, you know what I'm saying? Chill out, bro. And I was like, walking down the street with him, just trying to get him to calm down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened with him at IUIC. So anyway, we walking down the street, and I gave him back the pliers, right? You know what I'm saying? And he had a hammer in his hand, and I could tell he was highly agitated, man. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to comfort Jake. I was like, man, chill out, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be all right. And I grabbed a hammer, right? Cause it was some cars that we was walking by. I grabbed a hammer. I was like, chill out, bro. The spirit was like he wanted to bust the windows out with the hammer, right? Of the cars we was walking by. So we walking some more. And I was like, man, look up. And I looked up and I saw chariots, you know what I'm saying? And I saw this particular chariot. It's almost identical to how it looked, but it was more metallic, right? I could see it clearer, just like this. This is almost identical to the chariot I saw in my dream, but it was just more more metallic color, right? And once I saw the chariot, you know what I'm saying, I was just like, what the? And it went by like it went left to right on me, and then I felt myself getting beamed up, right? And when I was getting beamed up, I could feel a lot of these dreams you can't feel nothing, right? You can't feel any sensation. Um, but I felt my body lift up off the ground, right? I was getting beamed up, right? It was surreal. I can feel myself actually getting levitating, and I can feel the force pulling me up. And like I said, I'm telling you the truth, man. It's heavy, right? Um, so I got beamed up, and then I could see America, Babylon the Great, from the like a bird's eye view, so to speak, like in outer space, right? And those visuals that we see in some of these videos is true, man. I know one brother do the visuals, right? Um, so I can see America, and I was in outer space or something, man, and I remember, at that particular point, I knew I was in the vision. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I knew, but I knew. The spirit had me just know I was in the vision at that point. After I, went up, and it's like I could see Babylon, right, America, like it's almost like I was watching it on TV, like a bird's eye view. And I remember seeing something flash. I knew I was in the spirit. I knew I was in the vision. I was trying to, at that point, you're trying to see what, you're trying to gather everything you can, right? So I remember seeing like on a TV screen, but it wasn't a TV screen. I'm just trying to give you a visual, right? It says, wake up, Judah. All right. Then I woke up, what I'm saying? As I woke up, my body was hurting all over, man. You know what I'm saying? It was vivid, like, very vivid. You know what I'm saying? I remember it like clear. Let's go to this definition, vivid. It says producing powerful feelings of strong, clear images in the mind. All right. It says of color intensely. So these colors was more vivid in this world, right? It's just off the chain, man. Like I say, it was heavy, man. And let's go here. And this Jake, one thing I remember when I got beamed up, I separated from that Jake. It was almost like this right here. It had to be pretty close to what happened to Elijah. 2 Kings 2:11. Then it happened as they continued on and talked that suddenly a chariot of fire appeared with horses of fire. Right? So this is so-called UFO. Right? Elijah, right? It separated the two of them, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. So he got beamed up on a so-called UFO, which would be a chariot of the Lord. Let me show you this. All right. Salakia. Trying to see this particular picture right here. So that's that, beam up action, you know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what happened to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got beamed up, by a chariot. All right. Like I say, it wasn't a long vision, but it was powerful, right? So give me 1 second. All right, Salakia about that. So let's go pull this scripture real quick. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, this was heavy, man. This was a heavy, heavy vision. And I'm telling you the truth, you know what I'm saying? I'm making anything up. This is exactly what happened. Right? So Elijah got beamed up. So like, yeah, got distracted. Right? So let me see something. All right, let's go to this 2nd Esdras 14:14. It says, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. So we have to cast off our mortal thoughts because we've been bred up in a society that lives and walks in the flesh 24/7, right? Our people we supposed to be the most high chosen people, but we don't act like that because our people are bugged out. They don't walk in the spirit like they should, right? So as you start to wake up to this truth, you start to see the separation from you and the world, right? But you have to put away those mortal thoughts, worrying about this, worrying about that, the cares of this world, and know that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is going to provide you with your needs. All right. And then he'll throw a bone your way. Right. And you have to really dig deep into the spiritual apparatus of life. You know what I'm saying? Because This place has bred our people to operate strictly within the flesh. That's why they always worried about this, worried about that, chasing this, chasing that, trying to get this degree, trying to get this promotion, right? And I ain't saying nothing wrong with those things, but that has become our people idol. That's their number one priority, not the Lord. You seek the Lord first, and then everything else falls in place. Like the scriptures say, do the birds worry, right? How they gonna eat? No, the Yahweh provides for them, right? Let's read 15. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. So put that aside. The things that's weighing you down and worrying you, man, whatever it might be. Right, we got bigger fish to fry on this side. And haste thee to flee from these times, because it's gonna get real grimy and nasty and ugly out here, man. So you gotta equip yourself mentally to the things that's coming, right? So let's go here. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was heavy. It was heavy, man. It was a faith booster even for me, right? And the spirit was on me to do this, lesson so I can help encourage you brothers and you sisters, like this not in vain. Everything you're doing is going to pay off. You have to believe that, and it's just the truth, right? If not, just go back into the world. What are you doing? Romans 8:6, it says, for to be carnally minded is death. So to think like the world, right? To react through the flesh is death, right? It sets you up for many pitfalls and downfalls and letdowns on the inside, right? And you see how people, they worry themselves into death in many different ways, right? Chasing the bag, trying to get this, trying to get that. It's never ended. There's no satisfaction on this side because our people under the vibration of the so-called white man, when he's greed, he want it all and then want some, he want it all, then he want more and more. He's never going to be satisfied. All right, it says, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace, because we have an eternal kingdom coming, immortality. Think about living forever and not having to worry about death. All right, these people on this side can't fathom that because they operate on such a low level, a low vibration. They can't imagine that kind of stuff. That's the farthest thing from their imagination. All right, they're focusing on, what they're gonna eat today. All right, where they're gonna go on vacation. All right, the things of the world. All right, what degree they trying to get. All right, but you walk into the spirit, you put off those silly things, man. I mean, don't say that you don't try to accomplish so-called stuff on this side for what it's worth, but it's all vanity at the end of the day, right? It's going to perish along with America, Babylon, right? This place is finished, and everybody in this American spirit operate on a low level, man, right? That's why we be agitated talking to you people, man. You ain't talking about nothing, right? Let's go here. It says that Romans 8:6. I just put in, the meaning of it to give you some clarity. It says, and I know what the meaning is, but I want to relay that to you so you can get it. Let's go here. Right here at the very top. It says to be carnally or fleshly minded means, remember, it's dealing with your mind. Your mind controls your body. You have to really understand that. It means to have mind governed by the flesh. And that's the operation of these people in the world. They're governed by the lust of their flesh, whatever they might be, right? They have no restraint, right? It's do as thou wilt. Do whatever you want to do in America, right? And that feeds this demon. It says, in short, the cardinal mind is dominated by selfishness, being let me say this again, selfishness, right? Right? It is the mind that is self-willed, self-focused, and self-seeking, right? You're not going to never be satisfied on this side. It says, Paul says, a person who is still carnally minded, who has not submitted to God's spiritual way of life, is not subject to God's law. And you got finessed on that as well. They told you the law was done away with, right? But this kingdom is temporary. They need to walk into the spirit. Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash. Shalom.